Welcome back, everyone, to Coriander Society Adventures, continuing after the break with Ninjaman Matt and Pods of War. When last we left our heroes, they were on board a high-tech dropship soaring above the blasted radioactive wastelands of the planet Lacunas. They have resolved to return to the pits of shadow, where John hid one of the pieces of the Flesh of Kur, the dragon of the void, the ominous threat that looms over all worlds. Hoping to keep it sealed and prevent it from being reunited with the rest of the flesh, John and Asena realized far later that each piece of the Flesh of Kur was attracting elder evils from beyond time and space to those worlds. Rather than dooming those worlds to their fate, they are now on the track to recover those pieces of the Flesh of Kur to find a new solution to this ultimate threat. In this case, John also hopes to release his friend Gilwargis, who is secretly St. George from Earth. Yes, it's weird. Who he tasked with guarding the pits of shadow where he hid that Flesh of Kur by merging it with a dragon that he killed the crap out of. They need to find some way to get the piece of the flesh back, liberate Gilwargis from his duty, and possibly form an alliance of multiple forces in order to take down this terrible creature. Specifically, Athenius Voskii, Kazimiir Voskii's son, just learned about the interdimensional gala that's being held to replace him, which is a good thing. And our heroes are in Amanda's company heading to the armory on board the ship to get re-equipped.
Yes. I want guns. Give me them big guns, them little guns. I want a big gun. I want a little gun. I want a round gun. I want a dart gun. I want an itty bitty gun. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You get guns.
Amanda takes you into the armory, and you can see a wide variety. What?
I thought Pods was dabbing. I just saw an arm doing this. And it looked like you were dabbing. Get guns. Ugh.
It is time to hit the fattest of dabs.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 3.
You see on... Amanda stares at the two of you for a moment. Her eyes are cybernetic, though they look mostly normal. They look almost like they could be confused with human eyes, but not quite. As the weapon expert for the Red Cross Knights, she designs most of their equipment, supercharges their vehicles. The Red Cross Knights are a small group of really high-level adventurers and elites who are not on any of the main factions on Lacunas. They travel around fighting dragons and helping people in need, regardless of their allegiance. They're very, very small in number, but incredibly well equipped. Amanda will look at the two of you and say, okay, what do you have?
Well, we have a fork, we have a spoon, and we've got an empty gun holster and some bullets.
Got a golden wheel, paperweight, couple glow sticks. I got my fists.
Oh, and I've got
take
these.
That away from me.
And they can't take that away from you. And John holds up a bunch of coins that he had in his pockets, and he says that each one of them has been taken the time to be imbued with any remainder of his former magic.
So nothing. Okay.
They stole our guns.
I mean, she's a living weapon, but other than that,
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not as bad off as John without his magic. So
yeah.
You don't
Also,
you don't have your...
No, I put it in my briefcase, and then my briefcase got taken.
By the cops.
I should mention, it shouldn't be a problem here, but there are some space police that are after us, like multi-dimensional space police. By the way,
cops than the
different
ones that
cops.
took our stuff.
Exactly. Well, yeah, kind of familiar. Yeah. Question: do you happen to have any sort of weapon that can break through a life form that's composed of like liquid metal?
A ferrofluid unit?
Yeah, like something that I don't know could incapacitate it or just it. Generally, when it's attacked, it doesn't matter what kind, magic or otherwise. It completely shapes around and avoids the attack unless it seems to be elemental in nature. Maybe you have some sort of force weapon that can bypass that.
Well, yeah, we've got a variety of options, and she's what?
Yes.
What format do you usually both like to carry?
The bigger the better for her.
Okay.
I like everything. I used to have this really cool laser gun that had automatic and not automatic.
It was a ship's turret. Let me clarify. She ripped a turret off of a ship, and we modified it into being a large cannon for her.
I'm gonna get it back.
It's not bad. She's going to sit down at her workbench and just pull out all of her tools, and she's got robotic things, 3D printers, and a variety of equipment. Okay, heavy weapons for you. And John, what about you?
Do you remember those pistols that you made for Hara?
Yeah.
That would be preferred. Something along those lines.
Okay. 1 or 2. Paired or not?
I mean, I'll take a pair if you got it. There's nothing stopping John from just using 2 weapons, right, mate?
I don't think so.
So, I mean, yeah, at that point, I'd love to have 2. That'd be great.
Okay. Paired automatic projectile, ballistics.
I mean, ballistics, unless you have something that, can tear through the... I'm mostly worried about planning for those weird ooze monsters.
Data you have on them.
John shares it, that he was able to find that they were seem to be amorphous blobs that function as a cage of sorts.
Do you have footage?
Yeah. John goes ahead and opens up the camera that he was.
She'll just like airdrop swipe it.
Yeah.
Holographically grab it, put it in her own head.
Perfect.
Yeah, it looks like a liquid state unit, adaptive, physical adaptive. I don't imagine. Did you try lightning, electricity, ion pulses?
We were able to try 2 different forms of elemental magic. We did not, I think, try lightning.
Okay. Yeah.
Fire worked.
Fire worked. Oh, easy. Okay. I will get to work. What else do you need?
Also, force worked. If we are able to do something that can,
it's a little more exotic, but it might be feasible.
Yeah, if that's feasible, that would be preferred.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, do you happen to have like some sort of sword gun? Like, if these guns can have some sort of like one of those laser swords that you're all famous for wielding.
I don't know if the 2 of you are Esper capable. Most of the time what we use around here are Esper blades, but I can definitely work up something. Could do a superheated vibronic alloy blade.
Perfect. That sounds amazing.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay. Great. As she's talking, she's remote controlling some of the automated assembling equipment with her implants. So it's like taking different things out when you mention stuff and just pulling them onto the bench and beginning assembly. She has like a micro factory here.
Oh, fantastic. John is going to go ahead and, again, like you mentioned, hollow work this, where he brings up his fields and begins, because John's pretty big into firearms, and he starts working with her to try and craft a pair of large, I guess you would call them laser pistols, or whatever kind of projectile we're going to be using. He'd like to have one that, if we can manage it, can do force, or at least something close. And then the other one, he does want some sort of elemental kick on it. Preferably, if he can, John's trying to build the elemental gun from Guardians of the Galaxy, where he can have a pair of pistols that can switch between like the elemental of like fire, ice, lightning, thunder, and acid. And he can just swap between those. So if he can have one elemental gun and one force gun, that would be his preference. And then if we can put, like you said, some rip and tear vibranium swords on there.
Okay. And then Asena, you want a really big gun. Do you want anything else in particular? Anything special? Any specific requests?
Can you make me Something that you think is really, really cool and awesome.
I always do.
You surprised me.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you can see something on the wall, like a laser, not a zap you, kill you laser, but like a laser pointer sort of thing, pops out and starts scanning over you, Asena. Back and forth and back and forth.
What's it checking for?
Measurements.
Oh,
It's a surprise.
that's pretty advanced. Okay.
All right. Do you have anything else you need to do, or do you want to go ahead and let her get to work?
I think we could probably let her get to work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, John, your weapons need to have the automatic quality. What else? There's only so much we can stack into one set of things. Let's see. Blast, no. Concealed? We could do concealed. Automatic or double tap?
What's the difference? I know what double tap does.
Okay. So automatic lets you shoot. So double tap, and for those of you playing at home, any weapon with double tap is a semi-automatic, which means that you can fire one every time you take the attack action. Every time you make an attack with the weapon, you can take a second attack twice. So you can attack twice for every attack you'd normally be able to make, but each of those additional attacks is made with disadvantage. And if the attack would already have disadvantage, a long range, lack of visibility, etc., it misses. Fully automatic can be fired in burst fire, so 3 to 5, or streams of bullets, 10 to 50 shots, which is what Asena uses her laser cannon with. When you shoot with burst fire, you have advantage to hit, and for every 5 points by which you beat their AC, you score a second hit with that weapon.
Oh.
You can also do what's called hosing, where you shoot a 10-shot burst. It's a 5-foot path in front of you in a straight line all the way out to the weapon's maximum range, or until it hits cover. Everybody in that line makes a dexterity save against your attack roll. They take half on success. For every 5 points by which they fail, they get hit again.
Oh.
And when you
interesting
spray it down with 20 to 50 shots, which is what Asena normally does with the smart laser, it is a cone attack that goes out to the weapon's maximum range or until blocked by cover. You roll an attack with advantage, and it's the same rules. Everybody has to roll a save for half, and by every 5 points they fail, they take an additional hit.
I mean, it sounds like I'd like to have this, the automatic, but what is is this going to be like an energy ammo? How are we going to do the ammo for this?
Yeah, it's going to be energy weapons for sure. So you're going to have like battery packs that you charge, power cells that you charge in.
Okay. Is there a way for John to help with the process in order for it to take magic as a resource?
Yeah.
As like a charging resource?
Possibly. She can work on that.
You could spend spell slots in order, because I have spell slots via Warlock, and I might get spell slots back if I get Wizard.
Okay. Let's look into that. Arcane. See, concealed, not double tap.
I can use one clean shot to get a critical success. Can John use one clean shot to get a critical success in order to make this feasible? I'm
going to allow that. Yes.
Perfect. Then John is going to sit down over the course of this trip with Manda and figure out how to make these elemental guns. Legally, they can't literally be elemental guns, so they're going to have to be something else. But I'd like to ask with you, as part of the critical success, can John have, and I'll find cool names for them, but can one gun be a force gun and one gun be an elemental gun that can flip through the 5 elemental damage types?
For your critical success, I'm going to let you charge it with spell slots. I'm going to look at the existing firearms rules I have to see how much we can get away with to make this work for you.
What if I can give you inspiration? I've been granted 2 inspiration by chat.
I'm going to say that's too much power to just be able to deal out every single element type as a cantrip at will. So I'm going to say I'm sticking to my guns on this one.
Okie dokie.
But if there's a force thing in here, then it's no inspiration needed. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
If it's within the tech level for this, no inspiration needed.
Understandable.
Asena, throughout this process, while she's working with John on these 2 guns, occasionally a robotic arm on the wall will reach out towards you with a piece of metal that's been shaped and sort of line it up against your spine or your arm, your shoulder, take it back, tweak it, heat it up, bend it again. It's like you're being fitted for an outfit.
John, I think I'm getting something pretty cool.
I think you're getting something fantastic.
It's
So-
specially made.
While you're working on this, and because it's going to take me a little bit of time to DM this up, who else do you want to make contact with? Or is there anything else that you want to do on the way over?
I mean, Athenia said that they were going to be the one to make contact, right? Or do you want me to do that instead?
You're welcome to. If anyone who you think, like, you should probably talk to Kazimiir. But at that moment,
well,
you get a
I wanted
text.
to. Oh, okay.
It just says, "Hello, John." Asena, do you have a phone? I forget.
No.
Okay. Yeah. It just says, "Hello, John."
John's going to say hello, Exarch.
I would love to catch up. What brings you back?
Same. I hope you've been well. We are righting a wrong and saving Lacunas from an elder evil.
That seems relevant to my interests and those of my people.
It is. I was going to hit you up. We'd like some help. Can you assist?
Of course. What are your parameters?
We are meeting for a war council at the Voskii capital. Can you parlay with Kazimiir?
I'm happy to.
Let me talk to Kazimiir.
Perfect.
Text you soon.
Have you thought about faith?
Excuse me, one more time.
Faith?
Are you saying faith? Is that what's being said
Faith. As in, do you have faith?
here? Mate, it's been a while. Can you remind me?
Sure. Last time that you, and again, this is completely valid. This was like 50 episodes ago or something. When you left Lacunas, you had a conversation with Exarch.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that Exarch had to say, I pulled up in my notes earlier. Let's see.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. The efforts of the Ulhar, the Blue Dragons, are guided by stronger powers from beyond. Individual dragons can be negotiated with, confronted, managed like any other problem. And Exarch has been working bit by bit to understand magic with 200 years of data. But the Throde and Kothar, who are loyal to Tiamat, and the Vignar, who were until recently loyal to Falazur, are the most difficult challenge that Exarch has had to deal with. Every world has gods, but theirs are real. Exarch asked you questions. What do you have faith in? It's a question that's been on Exarch's mind ever since he died and took over from his father. If his people have faith in him, then he needs to have faith in something as well.
I would have to go back, but I'm pretty sure John said something to the effect that he has faith in people. And when that wasn't good enough, John said he had faith in his friends. And he was specifying specifically to Asena and Gaston, but he was meaning every person that has helped him along his journey since he has been amiss in the multiverse.
Exarch wants to know if you've learned anything more, found faith in anything new, or lost any.
Well, I was surprised that you asked that, Exarch. We met.
See Asena like peering over at the phone.
What you doing?
We met a herald of the host of heaven, and so as we discussed on a theoretical level, like obviously we know that there are gods in the world, and there are places where people go when they die. I would say that fundamentally, no. My response since last time hasn't changed. I still put my faith in people, whether those people are devils, angels, monsters, other gods, or just common folk seeking to do good. It's people, mortals, creatures divines, anything that seeks to make a change in the world. That's who I believe in.
Always a delight, John. Please tell Asena I said hello.
And what about you, Exarch? Have you changed? Have you learned anything new?
Yes.
Your people believe in you. What do you believe in?
But I can always learn more.
How very cryptic. I'll tell Asena you said hi. Asena, the Exarch says hello. I have a question. Do you believe in anything, Asena? Do you have faith in a particular entity in this world?
Don't I have faith in Oriel now?
John texts back the Exarch and says exactly what Asena told him.
Tell him I teamed up with an angel.
Asena teamed up with an angel. She has holy powers now, and she glows.
And he's cute.
And the angel is cute.
That's
Hopefully
wonderful.
he won't get jealous.
Also, Gaston has left our immediate party, but he's now an underground gangster and dating a ninja.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure his brilliance is not going to waste. I will miss talking
correct.
with him.
Oh, he'll be back.
I would love to talk to an angel someday. Their perspective would be unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Exarch, if it wasn't for the fact that I have full confidence in your sense of self, I'd be terrified by the implications of what you've been sharing with me.
Everybody needs something to believe in, John. What are you afraid of?
Mostly 90s pulp culture. From Earth with an E.
Another thing I don't have access to.
I'll share it with you next time we get a chance.
I look forward to it.
Also, can you run the, if you get a chance, Exarch, I know that your time is valuable, but if you can run the numbers on what the likelihood of there being a Skibidi as opposed to a Scooby-Doo on an Earth that starts with an O instead of an E, I would appreciate that.
It depends on the relative technological progression of that world. Are you looking for a direct correlation? I'm sorry, one moment. If that world has television, then look for other ways in which they're similar. The more ways in which they're similar, the more likely. The actual numbers are very, very small. But in practical terms, if you find a lot of similarities, those numbers might be worth crunching.
Get you more data. Understandable. Have a nice day.
You too, John. Take care.
Thank you. John's going to call up Voskii now.
Okay.
Kazimiir Voskii.
And you get him almost immediately. And you don't have to go over secure battle channels this time, now that you've got an official patch. He'll pop up. I don't see this particular frequency very frequently.
Hey, I'm going to need a big solid from you. You trust me, right?
Of course.
So, and I'm assuming John has brought up to Kazimiir Voskii at least, you know, the dealio on Gilwargis, and if not the details, why he's no longer leading the Red Cross Knights. So, Chronophage, Elder Evils, Pit of Shadows, St. George, we need to resolve this. And the best way to do it is to gather up all of the allied forces of Lacunas and assault the Pit of Shadows in order to destroy Dreargakaduyarte in their massively upgraded Mega Kur form, eliminate the spawning pit, and free Gilwargis from their charge, because I made a bit of a tactical error, unintentionally, of course. I've learned since that we need to spirit these pieces of evil away, because the Elder Evils are searching for them, and I want to keep the Chronophage from trying to devour Lacunas. So I've enlisted the aid of the Exarch at they've agreed to send an envoy to help with our war council. You can either name a place outside of Voskii's territory to host it, or if you would like to have it at your place of residence, we're going to need to allow them to come. So, any thoughts?
John, I seem to recall that you, Gaston, and Asena were working on a way to permanently neutralize the chronophage threat.
Yes, that is in the works, but one step at a time. We at least want to make sure that if it takes us longer than a year to do so, I'd rather the chronophage not be zeroed in on lacunas directly. But yes, we are. It's in the works.
And do you think it's going to take you longer than a year to pull that off?
Well, to be completely honest, Gaston's not with us anymore, so we're down to a third of the resource. We're down by at least 1/3 of the resources that we previously had at our disposal. He is still an ally, and if we do need him, he will be available to assist. But his destiny lies elsewhere, and the saving of NORTHPORT and the world he comes from in Yord is paramount in his mind, thoughts, and actions. So we have to make do. And also, I don't have my magic anymore, so we're working at a bit of a handicap. Asena's an absolute powerhouse, so that hasn't changed and probably never will. And I'm working towards gaining the full reign of my powers once more. Once that happens, defeating the chronophage and banishing it from this plane of existence is going to be far more feasible. But defeating Dreargakaduyarte in the Pit of Shadows and freeing Gilwargis is a big step forward.
Roll a persuasion check, please, John. I'm not giving you advantage, but I am, unless you spend the inspiration, but I am modifying the DC based on your relationship with Prince Kazimiir.
Okay. So this is my persuasion, and then I'm going to modify it if needed. So
a dirty 20.
That do be a dirty 20. If it's not good enough, I have other means of being able to modify it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not good enough, or does Kazimiir trust John enough?
Kazimiir hesitates, leaves a long pause. This doesn't seem like an imminent threat. And while I do appreciate the good that the Red Cross Knights have done for the Voskii people, it is difficult to justify as a strategic priority. But you and Asena are old friends, and our debt to you is far greater. Would it be feasible for us to arrange this remotely?
I believe that would be entirely at your behest, Prince of Voskii.
Yes, I assume with a very... What's your timeline on this, John?
Like yesterday.
Then it seems foolish to waste time gathering people of tactical significance into a single vulnerable place and involve travel time and all of that.
I would agree.
I'll arrange a secure channel for this.
Perfect. That sounds great. Is it all right if we at least can park ourselves somewhere safe along the border of your domain? That way, when we're ready to mobilize,
Asena are welcome throughout all of our territory.
And what about the Red Cross Knights?
If they're delivering the two of you, then of course they would also fall under my protection.
John is going to give some coordinates for right here, because that's going to put us central to the Renegades and to the Voskii capital and to the Pit of Shadows.
Okay.
That's where they're going to be meeting them, because I'm assuming that this mountain line is at the edge of their territory, right?
Correct. The Voskii really dwell in these mountains up here.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's where John wants to have the Red Cross Knights take them. And with the prince's permission, he's going to go ahead and share the private channel to the Exarchate, to Dodhir, to the Coalition, and of course with the Red Cross Knights.
Okay. Prince Kazimiir will reluctantly, but politely and with all the decorum befitting a prince, make the arrangements.
Also, quick question. Kazimiir, have you been able to open up lines of communication with the Ochaki and the Scala at all? Or are you still in a not so great way with them?
Lines of communication, yes. Those are complicated relationships. Family is never easy. I think it's safe to say we leave them out of this one for the time being.
Understandable.
If you and Asena have time afterwards, it would be my delight to host both of you.
We're on a bit of a timetable. We have,
of course, I understand.
much to do, but we'd be very happy to accept your invitation if we don't die in the Pit of Shadows. It would be great to see you as well, old friend. I merely am just clarifying. It would be a very quick and pleasant visit.
Of course, I understand. Of all people, the burdens of power. Take care. Say hello to Asena for me.
I absolutely will. Asena, the Prince of the Voskii capital, says hi.
Hello.
Mandus.
Was he talking to you or texting you?
I'm assuming we were talking over a private channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. It was kind of creepy.
Amanda stands up and says, "What do you prefer, a rapid bombardment or a single powerful energy kinetic delivery?" Talking to Asena.
What? Both?
Google. She goes back to it.
Actually, Amanda, while we're at it, can you please, can we manufacture Asena a phone, please?
Sure.
What am I going to do with a phone?
Whenever I have one of these conversations, you can just put on video call. And even if you don't want to be a part of the conversation, at least you can put it on stereo and have it in the background in case you feel like chiming in. Also, it will make it so much easier. They also have games, and it will make it so much easier.
If they had games.
We do have games on our phones.
Yes. And it will. Yes.
I mean, you had me at games, but you can continue.
Oh, it would just make it very easy to send you information rather than having to try to contact you or get in touch with you. I can just text you and make it much easier.
All right. I can't promise I'll check it all the time.
That's fine. I understand entirely. And you'd be able to message Gaston. So when we're, away, if you get lonely or want to check in on people that are, in Northport, get you on the Ethernet and you can just hit him up.
Can I watch Scooby-Doo on it?
You can watch Scooby-Doo, and if everything goes well, we can watch Scooby-Dee on this thing.
Scooby-Dee.
Once I ascertain if that's actually a thing or not. I kind of hope that it is.
What about other videos?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, and when the time is right, John's going to drop the entire cloud of all their adventures. You can watch all the home movies we've been making as we've been going off and destroying the terrible things that exist within our multiverse. Or, you can just put Oriel on loop.
I don't watch videos of cats.
You can watch videos of cats.
Absent-mindedly airdrops you something. It is the clip of the two of you spinning and doing like air blasting stuff, except it's set to like a perfect loop of you flying in, because it was from her perspective of like, you fly in, go past the camera, fly in, go past the camera.
Yes!
It's got some music set to it too.
I was gonna say there's like filters and stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been fully TikToked, but distant future TikTok that doesn't make sense to us. Memes from the future that we don't understand.
There's like a bucket on my head for some reason. That's exactly. Comedy. It's peak comedy.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't get it.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, we look absolutely amazing. Look at that. They even got your glow. All right, war meeting. Let's do this.
while you're doing that, Amanda will reach towards you, John, and say, hands.
John acquiesces the request.
All right. She'll put them down in like a little box that.
Oh, right.
Test these. She hands you 2 grips.
John, test them. Should I roll anything?
Nope. They're excellent. Some sort of carbon fiber alloy. Yep. Okay. Asena, it looks like she's assembling some sort of exoskeleton, not like a full power loader mech suit, but whatever it is she's building for you, it's part of like, it needs to be attached to your, not like grafted to your spine, but it needs like a harness to use it. And it's got some robot arms and such on it.
Cool. This sounds epic.
It's like Gaston's exosuit, but for a giant gun.
But for me,
you are become heavy weapons guy.
It looks like some sort of shoulder cannon that slings behind you when it's not being used, and then
no, you're the predator.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, Amanda. As part of this, can we give Asena some kind of cloaking device to be mounted onto this exosuit?
What, are you worried about me being too big?
No, this isn't about you. This is about me. I need this.
What does it mean?
I just want to see Predator Asena so badly.
You're going to get him back, right?
Yes, of course.
Who are we getting back?
Okay. And then a drawer that was like hidden underneath the bench opens. And it's glowing. There's some other pieces in there. She starts picking those out. And all right. While I continue to look up various...
And as one last thing, John's gonna, because I normally would be able to probably have him take out like an actual prop he had collected somewhere, but instead he's gonna use his dual disc system in order to oh god, what are they called when you have a hologram? He's gonna hologram a predator mask onto Asena's face. Can you make something that looks like this as well?
I mean, with a HUD, it looks like it would just block her sight.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, it'd be like,
Yeah, what if I can't see?
Well, that's the point. Can you do something like this that would make it so that way they could see?
It'd be a lot better to just have an IR visor.
No. Just okay. If you can have the visor, fine. But can you have the visor behind the helmet?
Do you want that, Asena?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Just a moment. And John, while we're in the rest of the flight, he's going to play clips from the Predator movie. Asena, or rather not Janice, have you seen the Predator? I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, oh crap. Well, that makes this more difficult.
No, it makes it more realistic.
Hey, hold on. Let me give me a moment here. You go on. I have a thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's obsessed with Earth things.
Amanda shrugs. Has he taken you there yet?
No, he can't get there. I don't think I want it. I cover my face.
That's what I was thinking. It doesn't seem practical.
He doesn't care. He just wants it to look cool.
This would be a lot easier if you had implants.
In my face?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Retinal. She points at her eyes, and you can see that they're like spinning inside
That's why
of each
they
other.
changed color?
Yes. They also provide target focus, energy detection, and a heads-up display that integrates with any personal data assistant I have.
That's way easier. Did you have to go to the doctor for that?
These were installed as I was developing.
Like a baby?
Throughout different stages, yes.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
It was standard where I came from. The Exarchate outfits every single unit to ensure longevity, efficiency at required tasks, high quality of life, including genetic editing as well as cybernetic enhancements.
You know, I used to have a pole axe from there.
An Exarch Poleaxe?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Those are pretty good.
I got to use it like twice. I never even got to do that thing where it took down their armor with it.
She looks at you, hears that, looks back at her work desk, and starts modifying the design. And it's like she forgets the conversation that she was having with you a moment ago.
All right.
I've linked a couple of things. Pause. So while John is geeking out trying to show...
Creepy.
Well, John's geeking out trying to show Asena what he means by just bringing up clips from the original Predator.
Why would you want to hide my face?
It's not about hiding. It's like an intimidation factor. Like,
I'm
imagine
pretty intimidating as is.
Okay, yeah, but people don't know that until you start kicking ass. Imagine if you show up in the scene and you're all cloaked and invisible, and then you come out from being invisible, you have this big old arm cannon thing on your shoulder, you got this really intimidating looking mask, and everyone's like, oh, you look pretty cool and scary. And then you could pull the mask up, or not you pull it, it would just come up because, like, you know, it's cybernetic or whatever. And then, like, ooh, you're all glowy underneath. And, you know, it's the reveal. That's
You
it's
think
the
so cool,
grandeur.
why don't you do that?
Well, I would, but I'm not being gifted an exosuit.
Well, maybe
And John
you should
holds
ask
up
for
the two. He holds up the two little gun handles that he has. This is what I'm getting.
We can't all be cool.
I mean, granted, you're not wrong.
All right.
But I think these are pretty cool. They're going to be cool.
John, so far the pistols, they do 1d10 damage each.
Okay.
They have a range of 60 to 40.
Okie dokie.
And in laser mode, they have two fire modes: continuous and burst.
So is this automatic?
It has the automatic quality, but it also has the laser quality. The
What
laser
is
quality
laser?
is if you lock onto one target and just keep firing at them, the damage builds over time. So instead of going pew, 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 you go psss.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's lock on, you said? Or focus?
Yeah, continuous fire mode.
Continuous. And what's the other one?
Automatic.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I thought laser had two. Okay, so laser is continuous and automatic has, you said, burst fire and what else?
Just burst fire. This one, because of the small power supplies that you're using, it's best for this one not to go like full, just spray down the whole area. But because we're building,
it doesn't get the line either.
Not by default, but because we're building in an arcane capacitor, we don't have to actually include the entire unit. Normally, if you wanted full automatic, you need a larger framework and a bigger power cell. I am including that capacity in this, but only when it's on arcane overload.
Okay.
So burst fire by default, little extra juice, you can blast everything in sight.
Okay, and then instead of ammunition, it's battery?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what does that battery look like?
It's like, if you're using a cordless power drill, that thing like snaps, the battery snaps into the bottom of it.
I didn't mean what literally looks like. I mean, like, what's the
50
capacity?
shots.
50, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And that's the first mode. The other modes, it'd be easy to add a plasma mode to this, but you're looking for something a little bit more exotic. So I'm going to use some arcane converters for this. It's going to simplify the inner mechanics, but it won't work in an anti-magic field.
It won't work in an anti-magic field. But it gets to do what?
Oh, this is for if you want to convert it to cryo, sonic, lightning, etc.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So it's more technologically efficient to build those with a technomagic slant rather than pure technology. It
Yes,
adds a lot
absolutely.
more flexibility.
That's exactly what John wanted to do, was make Magitech
Mhm.
guns, for sure.
Yeah. She did Magitech Uzis for Hara before, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Also, how are things looking on John's technomagy programs? I know we were working on
Mhm.
getting that back. Is that
You
any
spend some
progress been made?
downtime with Manda, she can help you out.
Cool.
Or
Yes.
Exarch. The Exarchate has technomages. No, they didn't have technomages. They got killed with technomagic. It was the Vignar who had technomages.
Yes.
But I'm sure Exarch can still help. Lots of studying, lots of data. You spend some downtime with either one of those characters, you'll unlock a feature.
Coolio.
Okay.
Just let me know when I can do that.
Will do. Asena, Manda is going to fit like a big freaking cannon onto the harness that you wear. She's trying to design the harness to be relatively light, but it needs to be really, really strong. So she's going to stick that on there, and she has a couple of anti-gravity little stuck onto it. And she's going to run, there's a gauntlet or an armature that runs up along your sleeve, but it's made of flexible material. After all, I know you need to remain nimble in a fight. This would be a lot easier if you had implants. But anyways, go ahead and squeeze this right here.
Okay.
When you squeeze that, the cannon great.
Hopefully I don't do that on accident.
We can build a safety in if you need to.
I'll be careful.
Okay. All right. Now twist it.
Bop it.
Okay.
And a little metal thing slides along it and then just pops out of your sleeve. It just looks like a little receptacle. Okay. Good.
What's that?
Attachment for an electro vibro blade. I'm still working on the logistics.
Ooh.
If you do it wrong, it's going to cut your arm off.
Oh.
I don't want to do that.
That would be great because I can't grow them back.
Mm-mm. You can't?
I don't think so.
Oh, by yourself without a medical facility, of course. Yeah.
But it would be cool to stab punch people.
That's what I'm working on. It's probably not going to be on the same scale as the Exarch weapon because those are usually kept by elite guards in a two-handed glaive format. But something on a smaller scale that's going to work better with your fighting style, I think we can manage.
You're pretty good at this.
It's what I do.
Well, I like it.
And she's going to go back to it. By the way, Matt.
Yeah.
Manda's armor that she built herself has cloaking.
Nice.
So building that for Asena is absolutely not out of the question. All right, who all is getting on this conference call of the gods as you zoom through the desert and just land eventually in the middle of a cracked, blasted wasteland?
So that's going to be Athenius representing the Red Cross Knights.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be Dodd here representing the Renegades. That will be Exarch representing the Exarch.
Mm-hmm.
That will be Kazimiir Voskii representing the Voskii. And that will be, I guess, technically, because I don't have their name here, I'm guessing Rasmus Breyer representing the coalition. I guess I don't have the name of their superior.
Constantina.
Oh,
General Constantina.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if we can get her,
she's
then
sympathetic
yes.
to the cause.
Perfect, then Constantina it is.
Okay. As you're setting all this up, Amanda's working on this blaster cannon for Asena. If you want Lynn's help, you can't have Exarchs.
What?
My sister, Lynn.
I like her.
If you want her help, you can't have Exarch's help.
Lynn is with the coalition, right?
No, Lynn is her own faction. She's the anti-Exarchate rebels that you guys worked with last time.
Oh yeah, well, I know she's anti-Exarchate.
Mhm.
I just thought
No,
she
she's
was
her
allied
own.
with.
She's her own faction.
I see.
They're kind of creepy to me. I think they're in love with John.
Lynn?
Not Lynn, the Exarchic.
Amanda looks at John for a moment, kind of inscrutable, hard to read.
John just shrugs.
She shrugs back.
In this case, I think if we're going for I wouldn't say suicidal mission, but it's definitely going to be a dangerous one. I'd rather put the Exarchate's lives on the line than Lynn and her rebels. She has enough going on already, trying to stop the machine uprising, as it were.
Amanda nods in agreement and goes back to her work. In the war room, barring anything else that you want to do, Athenius is present, and Manda will also be present, though you can see she's like half working on her workbench that she's remote controlling with her implants. She's sitting there. Asena and John are sitting there. Athenius is standing, and one by one, holograms of each of the other people appear around the corner. Exarch appears as just a simple, smiling, average-looking person wearing simple Exarchate clothes. Dowd here, who is a blue dragon in human guise who leads a group of desert renegades, is dressed for desert wear, even though he doesn't need it because he's a freaking dragon underneath. He's got, the sort of thing, cloth up to his neck to keep out the sand, earrings, the whole look, looking very calm. He'd fit right in a Dune movie. Prince Kazimiir has his full military uniform on with all the ceremonial armor, the big old flowing fur coat behind it, all of that. He looks imperial and imperious. Constantina has a general's stars on her uniform, and she's got her power armor like in the background of the hologram, occasionally flickering in and out. When you get on a Zoom call with somebody and their digital background is only half working, so you see somebody like appear back and forth over and over. That's what that looks like.
The Star Wars holograms. Like, it's really cool tech, but it doesn't really work that well, kind of a thing.
Exactly.
+1 XP.
I was literally saying there's an awkward silence as everyone dials in.
And John is going to plug Asena and himself in. Asena, is there anything that you want to particularly look like as part of this call, or are you okay appearing just as yourself?
What?
Well, you want to be present during the negotiations, right?
Yeah, but why would I look like someone else?
I'm just asking. You're going to be entering into a kind of a cyberspace looking arena, remote call, and I just wanted to know if you wanted to, look different. That's all.
If I look different, then they would not know me when they see me.
I mean, I mostly am thinking like clothing, but yeah, sure.
What's wrong with my clothes?
Nothing's wrong. I was just wondering if you had any preference that, what, forget it. And John's just gonna dial them in as normal.
Okay, you enter the metaverse, but in this metaverse, everyone has legs.
Oh,
the digital conference room is projected out, and it looks like a beautiful mountaintop rotunda with elegant, like Art Deco style windows. No, more like high Gothic style windows all around, and a lovely breeze flowing through, all of which is digital. I, Prince Kazimiir Voskii, call this war council to order, as summoned forth and organized by John Carmichael. You may take the floor.
Esteemed leaders of the Allied forces of Lacunas, I formally and humbly request your attendance today to bring forth a matter of great importance. Beyond the Voskii Mountains, far to the east, past the Renegade Deserts, there lies in the southernmost portion of Ulhar-controlled territory a reclusive cave, originally the lair of a one Dreargakaduyarte, an extremely old and powerful blue dragon fallen to the ways of shadow. Many of you here in attendance recall that with the assistance of allies that I had made on my first visit to this war-torn world, it was defeated, but not without great cost. John turns to, is Athenius present here? He is, right?
Yes.
The previous leader of the Red Cross Knight, Gilwargis, has been bound to that place as a guardian and as a butcher and John is unable to actually withdraw and show what it looks like, but using the metaverse, he's going to make appear a portion of the Flesh of Kur as well as the dragon itself. And whereas the rest of them appear, generally, I would assume, more or less their regular selves. They have that nice mountain vista. There's the table, before them, that small little piece of the egg that he recovered. And then above them, hundreds and hundreds of feet, a gargantuan, colossal, titanic being above them. The infinite dragon trapped in the abyss, the legendary Kur, looms over all of them in a very intimidating display. And then it's gone. I seal the peace of this great monster here on your planet, creating the Pit of Shadows. My intention was to take these pieces, and John just kind of idly moves the piece around in the metaverse and hid them around world by world. And John summons up all the various worlds and all the various fractured and distant places that he's been through across his entire decade-long journey, and just kind of taps each one of the planets, and a different piece settles upon each of the worlds. Utilizing guile, deals, and promises from both enemies and friends that I met among these places, I sealed aspects of these pieces away, thinking that I was doing the multiverse a service by hiding these pieces across the various planets and realms of the universe. Only recently did I discover that great evils from across the cosmos are being drawn to these fragments of power. On your own planet, the chronophage descends slowly but surely, and within a year, if this piece is not removed and sent elsewhere, your world will be consumed by this terrible eldritch being. We have plans in place that we are slowly but surely utilizing to neutralize this terrible terror. But until that time, we need to remove this piece of the Flesh of Kur off this world to buy us time or to eliminate that threat upon your world entirely. I ask each of you, in order to assist with the aversion of the destruction of your world, send a portion, whatever you can manage, a small strike team, an elite but tactical force, to join me and my partner Asena as we head to the Pit of Shadows to destroy the aspect that remains of Dreargakaduyarte and rescue Gilwargis the Dragon Slayer in order to be able to better defend Lacunas.
Before anyone else can speak up, Exarch, hands folded behind their back, will politely inquire, given the scope of this threat, would it be appropriate to deploy strategic weapons?
Do you mean an orbital bombardment or something to that effect?
Of that caliber, yes. It seems like that would put our forces and the lives of the Lacunians at the minimum risk.
As long as we'd be able to get Gilwargis out, and if that would prove successful, we would need to make sure that this is able to pierce the glorious amounts of rock that stand between whatever bombardment would be placed. It would be great, Exarch. It's more likely, from what you're saying, we might want to take a small strike force and place an ordnance there and then get out. rather than go into a large pitched battle, we would more so send a splinter cell in order to achieve such a goal.
It
Is
would
that
be
what
my-
you're suggesting?
That's viable. I'd want to get as much data as you have about the site to see if it's feasible to do a long-range strike. But if not, my people would be happy to furnish you with the weapon you request, as well as units to assist in its deployment.
I did not have the surveillance system that I currently keep at the time that I was there, nor the time that I returned. But I can give a descriptive recollection of my time there.
Constantina of the coalition will speak up and say, I get that this is a big, really big threat. And if it wasn't for the things that I've seen working with you, John, and everything else, I find it hard to believe. And I want to help, but where do you really think we come in? It's a small, narrow cave. You don't really want a lot of people there. I'm not going to send soldiers in there to get chewed up. Where do you think we come into this?
Well, again, I'm not looking to send massive amounts of Lacunians in there. This is not an invasion where we're planning on taking a battlefield and shoving a large collection of people into a small space. What I'm asking for is a little bit of help from each of you, rather than making one force in this alliance. Because you are an alliance. You all, whether you
Asena,
brokered,
you see everybody staring side-eyed at each other as he says they are an alliance, just sort of.
there is
suspicious.
a tension, of course, but there is also a peace. There is a you don't want the Ulhar, and John even looks over at Dodd here on this. None of you necessarily want the Ulhar to take over the entirety of Lacunas. All of you have some stake in remaining your own factions, one way or another. The Ulhar seek to take over the entire planet and bring it under their rule.
Well, this isn't
you,
a Ulhar threat, is it? This is something else entirely.
And if you hadn't brought up the fact that you don't want to work together, that would be a non-issue. But apparently I have to reemphasize the stakes that are present here. I need each of you, as a coalition, to come together and donate a measure of your faith. John looks at the Exarch.
Mm-hmm.
A measure of your power. John looks at the Voskii. And a measure of your trust. John looks at Dodd here. To come together, and instead of one of you shouldering the responsibility of assisting us in this task, each one of you can just donate a small portion of something that you have. I'm not asking for a large force. If each one of you has, as the Exarch already has promoted, a super weapon that can be deposited. In that case, if somebody has a vehicle that they can use to transport us, if someone has a giant mech that they can use to guard us, the Red Cross Knights have already promised a shield. What I'm saying is, we are going to be taking a very specialized small team into that pit, and I'd like for the whole team to come out. And if you do this, this is going to be the first time that your groups have worked together to accomplish a great goal that will weaken not only the draconic hold on this entire area, but it will prove that you can work together. And it's going to assist in the greater goal of destroying that thing coming for all of you. Whether you have draconic origin, human, cybernetic, it doesn't matter. It's going to take all of you and consume it and make it part of what it already is, which is not human or dragon or mortal.
Dodd here speaks up and almost lazily says, obviously we're going to help.
That's two. John looks at the rest that haven't said anything or have not offered any assistance.
My knights are prepared to offer an escort as needed. Kazimiir will speak up. A little bit clipped, a little bit short, but Athenius will nod appreciatively and keep his mouth shut.
Now, just to clarify, that knight comment was from Voskii or from Athenius?
Voskii.
Okay.
He's talking about his mecha knights.
Yeah. But just as an escort, they're not actually going to go into the pit, I take it?
Well, that depends on the exact nature of the mission. If you're sending in a giant bomb to blast the whole place, then their primary mission would be escort and protection. But the honor and bravery of my knights cannot be impugned, and any threat that arises, they are prepared to answer. Any challenge that must be overcome, they will, of course, assist with.
I do not believe, and I mean no disrespect, Great Exarch, I don't think a super weapon of any caliber is going to be enough in even one blow to destroy the shade of Dreargakaduyarte. Even when I crafted with the assistance, and John indicates the Red Cross Knights, even with the assistance of the technological prowess of Lacunas, I built a gun capable of destroying a dragon. And even when that gun worked to perfection, it destroyed itself in the process, dealt the mortal blow after a long, drawn-out fight. I think that the super weapon is going to be a precursor to a final assault. I think that if we use a weapon, whether it be ordnance from above or a bomb from within, we can blow open the mountainside, destroying all of the fodder within and revealing the great dragon that has been infused with the power of Kur. Only then will we be able to bring our strike force to bear.
The slaying of Athenius opens his mouth and then immediately stops and looks over at Dodd here. The slaying of monsters that threaten the innocents is our province. We will be there. Constantina looks at everybody, looks at Asena for a moment, says, I mean, do you have catering covered yet?
And I get hungry.
Mate, can you remind me, aside from just being, really kind of the Imperial Guard of Lacunas, what is the coalition specialty?
They have numbers. They have numbers, but they're not like each of the little settlements that makes up the coalition, each of the little provinces muster their own militias, provide their own weapons. People like General Edwin Shell were trying to get everybody to be a
you're saying they
army.
have people everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I want from you and the coalition is I want you to feed the propaganda machine while the rest of the alliance works together in order to defeat this great threat that encompasses all of Lacunas. I want you to spread the collections of these factions. Spread that there is an alliance between all of the allied beings on Lacunas against the Ulhar. And despite the fact that they think differently, the Exarch has different views than the rebels, than the renegades, than the commissariat, than the capitals of Voskii and the other psychers. What they do share in common is a shred, and John kind of looks at Dodd here, of humanity.
He doesn't seem bothered.
That they can work together to overcome great evil. And it is okay to have differences as long as we can understand our neighbors and come together. That's what I want from you, to be able to put out that this happened, spread it across all of Lacunas, so that way we can begin breaking down these walls and having these conversations without having to get the great leaders of all together with a magical space wizard that solved your problems in the past. We need to be able to have brother talk with brother, sister talk with sister, and anyone who robot and non-binary android, who knows, whatever the case may be, we need everyone of every spectrum of person here on Lacunas to be able to converse without immediately resorting to drawing lines. So if you can do that, you're going to be probably the greatest help out of this entire venture.
Roll persuasion check.
And I'm just going to preemptively do everything I can on this. Persuasion. So that is not fantastic because I only rolled +2 on that. So let me, I'm going to use a lucky die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll that one more time and see what I can do. Please don't fail me now. Okay. A 14 plus 2 is 16. God, that's still not great. I'll use an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
God, this is not going great for me. Well, it's to be, unless Asena can step up and do something to save what John has started.
What are you doing?
Trying to convince the peoples of Lacunas to work together.
Oh, easy. Asena will clear her throat.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, you guys. If the world gets destroyed, not only can we not have the gala, which is a big party, you guys won't be able to fight each other anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You won't be able to fight each other anymore.
Well, that was timed perfectly with somebody playing a one clean shot card that grants an immediate critical success. But I gotta say, I'm giving you one of those inspirations back because that was a good speech.
Oh, thank you.
But because it's funny, when Asena speaks up, everyone's like, "Oh, fine."
John's like, come on, everybody. You have to come together, break down the barriers of the past, and make sure you can move forward to work as a team. It's like, look, if you don't do this, you can't keep killing each other. Oh my God, you're right. That makes total sense. Oh, goodness.
Okay. I'll run that up the chain of command. See what we can get it done. Who has tactical lead on this? Who has operational command?
Just to clarify, are you asking who's going to be the person in the chair?
Mm-hmm. Who's calling the shots? Who has go, no go on this?
John looks over to the current leader of the Red Cross Knights, Athenius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're the first responders that answered my call. Your previous leader, Gilwargis, was the one who agreed to my initial charge. I think that it would be only fair that the Red Cross Knights, the gallant individuals from all walks of life, the first ever alliance among Lacunas, be the group that heads this operation, since it was their previous leader that laid down their life to begin with.
Athenius nods in agreement. Kazimiir immediately speaks up. I trust then that this operation will treat the warriors of the Voskii family with the utmost respect and care, and not squander this power. Athenius looks
Can John
over
make an insight check?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because even Matt can see the subtext there. Yeah, natural 20.
You didn't have to make an insight check. The subtext was pretty obvious, but yeah, he's not going to say I should be in charge, not my son. But yeah, he's calling his kid irresponsible and accusing him of squandering his power, and actually saying, but seriously, take care of my guys, you little brat. Not like challenging him or threatening his power. Well, challenging him, but not like trying to take his power.
I think you used the word imperious earlier, which he's absolutely flaunting.
Athenius just says, all those under my command, I will treat with the utmost respect, as always. Their lives are my responsibility. Kazimiir,
besides, isn't it going to be regardless of your past, you should entrust your son, Kazimiir, one who was imbued with the right and skills to lead, to be able to take on this responsibility and prove not only to the Red Cross Knights and the Alliance, but prove to his very father that he was indeed bred for this
I
and can
place
serve as a leader.
my trust as wisdom sees fit.
Well, I don't know who wisdom here is, but I think that we've gone ahead and resolved exactly what it was we came here to do. We can iron out the details later, but it seems as though, just kind of reading the minutes off of the meeting, Exart's providing the bomb, Voskii's providing the retinue and backup forces, the coalition is providing the propaganda, the renegades are providing a dragon, and the Red Cross Knights are providing the strike team. Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
And Asena and I are going to provide that spark of inspiration to get it all done.
Oh, so you're the ideas guy?
I mean, would you be here without me?
That was me. Like, I don't know who in the room would actually have said that. Constantine is the closest to say that, but I don't know who else in the room would have actually said that.
I had assumed it was still Voskii since he was the last person talking, but
No,
yeah, you're right.
Kazimiir is here to be clear about the pecking order, or not like he's in charge of you, but like his boundaries and all that stuff. But he's not here to give you trash.
Then to answer your response, yeah, we're the PCs, so
we're the players.
That's what we're bringing to the table.
We're the main characters, so
I'm the main character.
We're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah, we're getting some new weapons made. It's gonna be cool. All right, well, I guess meeting adjourned.
Mm-hmm. Exarch looks over to Athenius and says, I look forward to cooperating with you for the greater good. Everybody looks at Exarch like...
I feel like the Exarchate gets treated like the plague, but like the plague that actually is like, we're happy to work with everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's the exact vibe. One by one, user left your channel. User left your channel. User left your channel.
Were we gonna ask for a ride?
Well, we're with the
when you disconnect from the
Knights.
metaverse, you're still on their really cool dropship. Asena, I'm putting the ship down. Amanda has been like waiting to talk this entire time, just sitting through the entire meeting, just waiting to talk.
Oh, and mate, we give the coordinates to where we are right now as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're landing. I need you for something.
Okay, guns.
Yep,
gun time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sets down on all the on the big legs, and
It's gun time. It's
and the
gun time.
ramp lowers, and she'll go ahead and strap the exoskeleton onto you and plug in a few more pieces. You can hear it hum to life. It's like, we're not testing this thing inside.
Oh, this is probably a good idea.
Yeah, John's, yeah, for sure. Not yours. Let's go. The two of you walk out into the desert. John, user joined your channel. Somebody's reconnected to the conference. I assume, did you unplug yet, or are you still in there?
No, when Asena was brought out, John just kind of lingered there, and he, while in the metaverse, he brings up the tyrannical figure of the Flesh of Kur, and then by one brings up all of the elder evils and kind of arranges them in this horrible looking, I guess, each one of them around him like in a circle in the horizon, kind of off around these mountains, these gargantuan terrible forms all looking down at him, and he kind of stares at each one of them in turn, figuring out what he knows about them and just assessing the level and kind of taking the scope of what he has to do and just kind of taking a moment to himself.
You hear a voice say, well, that sure is a lot to deal with, huh?
Does John recognize that voice?
Yes. It's Adriana. You see her, the former member of your Coriander Society team, who the last time you truly saw her, she was plummeting into the emptiness of the broken remnants of a dead world with a piece of the Flesh of Kur slipping through your fingers into the nothingness.
But she's appeared to John as a specter many times since then. And what are you doing here, Adiana?
You know, that's only a handful of them.
I'm aware. Well, what is it I can do to help you today? Or what is it that you can do to help me?
I don't need help. It didn't really do a whole lot of good last time, so I figure I just won't even ask. How far are you willing to go? Are you really gonna part with the thing that saved your friends' lives over and over and over?
John instinctively reaches up and grabs a hold of the Talisman of the Infernal. Am I going to give it
get
up?
through this by playing nice?
I have never gotten through anything by playing nice, Adiana. You know that. But you have to play the game.
So what? You're going to pull one over on an angel?
Not necessarily, but if you deal with devils, then you have to act a bit imperious. If you're going to deal with angels, you have to act a bit pious. If you're dealing with monsters, you have to cower until you're ready to strike. I'm doing what I have to.
Better hope you're right.
Well, that was odd.
The channel logs do not show any users connecting or disconnecting. And I would end us on that note, but instead I want to take us out into the desert. There's a little bit of sand blowing around you, Asena, as all this is happening. And Manda's gonna, she's plugging in different aspects of the cannon on your back. Okay. I want to try out the indirect fire mode first.
Okay.
What's your normal targeting mechanism?
I look at the target and then I punch him. Or you mean with my laser gun?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. That one has a trigger where if I spend more energy, then I can make sure it doesn't hit certain people.
Okay, onboard targeting computer. We can work with that.
Yeah, sometimes I just skip that part.
She shrugs.
I have to be safer now, though, because I made a deal with an angel who said I can't accidentally kill people. Not that I have before, but I just have to be careful now.
You know, Gilwargis always talked about that kind of stuff, but we never saw much of it here. That's interesting.
Huh.
What was it like?
The angel? It was cool. It was like a presence, you know?
Sure. Okay. And she'll swing a little targeting computer forward. This would be easier if you had retinal implants, but for the time being, here's your targeting device. We're going to try indirect fire first, okay?
Okay.
Obviously, we aren't always going to have drone support or satellite coverage, so we're just going to have to do this as best we can. From the exoskeleton, a little thing flips out in front of your eye. And then holograms, like a projection, drops beneath it. And in that projection, you see a target on the ground.
Oh.
All right, so you're going to use this interface right here to put that where you want it. Minimum range is going to be about 200 feet. But yeah, you just
feet.
put that wherever, as far as you can see, and when you're ready, you press this.
Okay. I'm gonna try and hit that rock over there.
Okay.
And we'll try it.
Roll a strength check.
Okay. Where are you?
14. Okay. When you put the targeting reticle over the rock, you almost fall and pull the trigger. You almost fall down
Oh my gosh.
as the cannon, it's not like launched over, it's still on your back pointing up. As it blasts, there's a searing charge of heat right behind your head.
Oh shoot!
You stagger and almost fall over as a ball of plasma lobs up into the air, comes crashing back down, and the rock disintegrates in a small mushroom cloud.
Oh. Did I do it?
Yeah, we'll work on that. And she immediately starts like taking it off of you to make more adjustments.
Well, I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. There's always room for improvement.
Okay.
More stabilization. I think it's probably too uncertain. And as Amanda just starts walking up, leaving you standing in the desert, she starts walking back up the ramp into the ship.
I guess I should follow you before the ship leaves me here.
And as Asena and Amanda walk back up the ramp into the Red Cross Knights dropship, that's where we're going to end our story. Next time, more weapons test, more cool gear, and we're going to go back to that Shadow Pits and see if we can't blow the whole place up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.